Hey there! Not too long ago, I finally finished off Steeple of Towering Pillars, and then had to do a whole soul crushing to actually finish the area, completing Forgotten Ridge. So of course, my name is Neodymious, and join me as I yell and scream over a game made for toddlers. This is EToH, Brutally Honest, Episode 3. Some new changes are going to be implemented. There will now be a community voting section. In my community tab, when I am working on a Brutally Honest, I will ask you guys to give me what you think are the best and worst towers. When voting, I will only count votes that specifically say the tower acronym and if they are good or bad. If you don't see your vote in this video, that is why. With that out of the way, let's start. So, this is a brand new section that probably won't happen very often. As you guys know, EToH has got a revamp like a few days ago when I'm writing this part of the script. Unfortunately for me, this is more editing I have to do, but good thing for you guys, now you get to see my opinions on these revamped towers, because I just love editing, as we all know. Never thought this would ever get a revamp, but here we are now. Welcome back to Zone 1, a sentence I have been dreading to say, but dread no more, because this tower is miles better than the original. However, I'm not going to say it's really good, because it really isn't. It's just average. The gameplay is consistent and stuff. It was fun to play through for sure, but it doesn't hit as hard on other aspects. It has creativity, but is sort of far apart and doesn't happen very often, and design-wise, is pretty basic. It isn't enough to be ugly, but it's boring. I like this tower, but I definitely don't love it, and I will stay brutally honest, unlike these fleas. This re-review gives Zone 1 a crisp and perfect 12 out of 30 overall. Nice. Guys, there are 7 bombs underneath my house right now. This guy's beat me to Forgotten Ridge. He's in the room. Oh, shit. But before we get to the towers, let's review the lobby real quick. So, while exploring the Ring 1's lobby, you found these platforms that lead to a room with a cable car. What is this thing, your dumbass asks? Welcome to Forgotten Ridge, the subrealm to Ring 1. Some info before we truly start. This subrealm has a total of 17 towers, which is so far the most towers in Area 1 excluding Time Lost Plane. So the lobby was inspired by that ancient lobby used by our ancestors back when EToH wasn't 4 years old, but actually when EToH was EToH. I actually like this lobby. I feel like any old EToH player can find this nostalgic. It gets off the vibe that this is supposed to be old. It also has these weird platforms. I'm not sure what the use of them is, but they are cool. Just a nice lobby, man. But I think it's time to get to the main attraction. This is one hilarious steeple to start off your journey through this interesting area. I won't be naming the joke that this acronym has. So this is an interesting start to Forgotten Ridge. It is one of the more modern towers in the realm. But this tower is honestly like mediocre. I mean, not that anyone new to EToH would really care, because by this stage they don't even know what good and bad gameplay is, but you wouldn't feed a baby mediocre food even if it didn't care what it ate, right? To be fair, it has sort of a unique gimmick of being able to do an extra challenge. The challenge aspect, I guess, is cool, but you don't get anything from it. No badge, no cosmetics, no nothing. Just a, yup, I did this. Not a horrible start, but it still can be better. How is this considered a jolly good fun to you? The name sounds like it shouldn't even make sense, like the creator just strung a bunch of words together to make something. And the tower isn't any better. It almost made me forget I was playing EToH and thought I was playing Tower of Dreams, Tower of Hell. It almost makes my gaming setup useless, like I should be an 8-year-old playing with this with my mom's iPhone 6 with the DAC case she got as an apology from her ex-boyfriend. It's just a boring tower, man, really just not fun at all. It clickbaited me essentially. It's a jolly good fun. What the hell? I'd rather be caught kissing my phone screen that has an image of a Roblox cat girl than catching myself giving this tower anything that makes it sound good. It is so mediocre, in fact, that it barely dodged the worst tower nominations. is this? Why would anyone conceive this unholy concoction? There is a running theme where Jukeries, at least during these old days, her towers suck doo-doo cheeks, and this is on that list. I feel like Jukeries didn't even have an idea of what the gameplay would be like, so she essentially did a freestyle, but not well. Like seriously, what is this? What was the end goal? Was there even an end goal? Was the end goal just get to 5 floors? Get your head in the game, bro. This ain't gonna get you anywhere. On top of this, SOP became the most hated tower in Forgotten Ridge, getting 10 votes for worst and 1 vote for best, resulting in a -9 on the scale. So take that as you will, but people clearly hate this, and for good reason. I have an opinion on this? Oh yes I do. The tower's idea was to replicate Alzheimer's, and it kind of did it in a bad way. I mean, I guess it accomplished the goal, just in a mediocre and bad way. It literally says on the wiki, the steeple took 2 hours, which is giving it too much credit. Alzheimer's is a very bad disease. Millions of people get affected by it, and it is very unfortunate. But this steeple makes it seem like a joke. But this steeple is like the Fisher Price version of Alzheimer's. I don't know. It's just not a very good tower, man. Actually, some might say it's a bad tower, and people like me put it in the worst tower nominations. Bet you weren't expecting that grand slam of a statement. Finally, a half-decent steeple. I remember making a joke where it involves this steeple. I'm pretty sure you may know what this joke is if you know my first video. Steeple of Woe, bro, was the side-splitting revolutionary joke I introduced to the EToH community. So this steeple actually has tolerable gameplay. It's more than tolerable gameplay, it's actually pretty good. It's decently consistent all the way through, and there looks to be some effort in the designing process, and although there isn't too much creativity, the gameplay makes up for it. I like this steeple. We literally went through 4 different towers, and it ranged from bad to something to start a war over. But this is nice. I'm sort of mixed on this one. Like, one half of the spectrum, this isn't that bad, but on the other half, this is not that good. My biggest complaint is the unindicated conveyors, and this stupid exponential momentum jump. Like seriously, this is such a tight jump. Everyone has at least failed this jump once. You'd be lying to me and yourself if you said you've never failed this jump. Did the creator suddenly forget the difficulty he was sticking to? If we compared this to what we have just gone through, this isn't the worst thing conceived, but objectively there are definitely noticeable issues in the gameplay. I also feel like some jumps are awkward. I can't describe the feeling, but playing this tower feels weird for me, and I can't pinpoint why. Before I overthink something that looks like something I would make when I was 5 years old out of Duplo, I'll give my rating and move on. Okay, I see. Yes, this is how a classic tower should be replicated. This is pretty good, man. The gameplay's pretty consistent. Obviously, these older towers don't have that much design and sometimes can have outdated memes. But hey, the positives outweigh the negatives. If you were to place this tower in Ring 1, not only would it be easily one of the best towers in that ring, you wouldn't really tell it apart from the rest. Well, it gives more of a TOPS Ring 2 vibe, you know? Where it's close to an old tower, but it has some modernistic approaches. I don't know, man. Maybe I'm meat writing this tower too much, but this is so far our best tower. However, my only complaint is the move slowly back switcher. Like the first time I played this, I ignored the sign completely. This is natural EToH instincts to not read a single sign in a tower. So it could really be used without this section because it requires an ounce of my attention and lucidity. God, this is getting unnecessarily long. Just take my rating. Yo, so it is yet another pretty good tower for this area. Yes, 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 yes. I definitely feel as if this one is one of the most modernistic towers in this area. The music is something I definitely want to talk about. It sounds like something from a tower like EToH, and it's so good. I enjoyed this tower all the way through. It is just the vibe it has. It's sort of relaxing. Yes, I know it sounds that crazy, but the vibe I got from the tower was relaxing. It is super laid back and has some difficulties to it still. This tower really grew on me. I used to dislike this tower for some odd reason, but playing it multiple times over got me to appreciate the tower. Frame is also super cool and shit. It is a pretty creative tower. I just like this tower, man. It isn't far off from being the best tower in this area. Hey guys, I'd like to give a shout out to the 0.3% of people who are over the age of 65, because I'm pretty sure y'all will remember this. This is the most accurate recreation to a classic tower. Now, is it any good? I'm not sure. It does have the same cliches that an old tower has, like unindicated traps, repetitive gameplay, text me out of the stuff like that. This is like recreating the mid towers in Ring 1 and 2. There's nothing special here. I wouldn't say that this is that bad, but I am saying this tower is such a basic tower, it doesn't bring anything new to the table. However, they nail the classic style. The specific style of basic as f***. Yum! One thing I do like is that the feel of this tower isn't taken so seriously, which is actually the charm I love about these old towers, even if they do suck ass, and thankfully this tower recreates that well. This will be a case of the tower getting a lower rating, but I'm kinda neutral to the steeple. Surprisingly, for me at least, this became the second most hated steeple with 6 votes for the worst. I guess this tower sucks, but personally, it wasn't that bad. Oh my god, guys, get it? It's a tricky triangles references. Get it, guys, because it's a triangle? Oh my god, guys, it's a Neodymious ref. I'm just gonna stop myself there. Why am I keep rambling on? The fact of the matter is that I actually enjoyed this tower through most of it. The keyword is most. I'm trying to forget the fact that this tower has a... No. Hello, this is Neodymious, except I'm not in my emotional state and can now talk about this tower correctly. The final outside does not completely ruin the tower, but however, it could still be used without it. The overall gameplay isn't actually bad. This feels like it is on the more modernistic side of things. It has decent design and it has some creativity sprinkled. With all that said, this became the most loved tower, getting 7 votes for the best. So people like this tower. I guess it makes sense. Try and tell me this wasn't one of the most forgettable steeples in the whole area, excluding event steeples. This was the first area I tracked, which means I waited for this area to release while knowing it was going to release. When it finally released, I actually didn't know the steeple existed until a whole month later. No, I'm not even joking. If you look at my tower wins on jto.info, you will see a month gap, where then it took me like a day to beat it. Admittedly, I didn't go in Forgotten Ridge that much during this month. You can ask a bunch of JTO players what SOC is, and they'll either be like, have you had one too many drinks, or, oh, yeah, that thing. Anyways, the steeple is what you would expect from your typical, uninteresting old towers. Jumps that are mushed together to create a nightmare. I mean, this isn't super bad. I've seen worse from the area, but damn, does this tower have nothing of value. It has as much value as a cracked penny covered in dog piss. This feels like a tower with 0 personality. This is the NPC of all towers. No personality, nothing special about it. It is just a husk with gameplay on the inside. But hey, 3 people really liked it, so maybe I'm just in the wrong. Remember when this was high challenging? You know, I actually played this tower expecting a high challenging back then, but in the end, I got freaking destroyed. This steeple is a real the first floors are messing around. I was expecting a sort of submissive tower, but in the end, I was left the victim. Heck, I'm even questioning my manhood right now. But that's just what happens when you play EToH. The music also very much conveys the feeling of playing this tower. Worse than expected. Not in gameplay, but in how challenging this is. Like, high challenging my ass. As for the gameplay, it's literally another one of these towers! Generic gameplay, not bad, not good, brings nothing new to the table, doesn't have much design, and is just another tower point. The difference is, however, is that I guess the difficulty definitely spiced things up, especially in the second descending half of the tower, where they went full wumbo mode. That's about it. Wow, this tower ain't too shabby. I actually enjoyed this tower's gameplay. I haven't played this tower in a while and I was actually impressed. The gameplay is actually nice and it has a variety of jumps. It doesn't bore you like almost every other tower here. I think that this far into the area, it was about time we got a change in gameplay where it isn't super repetitive and actually worth some time. Thankfully, other people agree with me in this opinion, I think. Now this is like the EToH of Forgotten Ridge. Basically, all I'm saying is this is easily the best tower for gameplay. In other areas, it doesn't do too hot, but hey, if the gameplay is good, god damn it, that is really all that matters. Be honest, this tower no doubt caught your attention, with its beautiful gradient. Ah, and if this gradient were to be compared to a starry night, that would do more injustice to the starry night than anything else. Okay, so this tower wasn't that bad, and holy shit, I'm about to say a cliche you have heard through the entire video, it wasn't special! An issue I definitely had were the unindicated conveyors. Are you surprised? Unironically, I failed this section on floor 8 because of, oh, funny freaking awesome gameplay stunt you can pull here by sending the player 5 floors down. A bit mad about that, but you know, I was very much enjoying the tower with its riveting gameplay. Oh, I was so stimulated, my brain was getting hit with 300% more dopamine playing this tower. Now, let me tell you guys a little something about irony. This tower has such boring gameplay, bro. Like, I swear to God, when I was playing this tower, I feel like I wasn't even lucid. So when I fail, I only then start processing what is happening here. That's what a boring tower does. Oh, but the gradient is nice. Man, fuck out of here. This was the only steeple I had to complete before the freaking stupid teal came out. It was a fairly fun steeple from what I remember and when playing it through again. Is it fun failing? Hell no, that takes way too long to get back. But hey, that's what a tower is. I really don't want to say the cliche again. I swear, this isn't because of laziness and not because this is the last part of my script and after I finish writing this, I'll finally be done with the script after 5 months. Nope, this is truly because there's no better way to describe it. It is a steeple with gameplay on the inside. Not too bad, not too good, like a medium well stick. Virtually no design as design over gameplay didn't exist, but the gameplay didn't have a high standard either, so I don't know. The steeple was decently creative and I liked the route progression. Yes, I am stretching for more watch time. How did you know? I did not have a good time with this tower. This is what drives a man to become a punky Joe. According to Neodymious, apparently people really like this tower. What the hell, man? Am I like the outcast of EToH, or is this the Matrix and I'm Morpheus? I mostly dislike this tower due to its frequent birth defect of difficulty spikes. The gameplay was kind of okay. It was certainly creative with certain sections, and it didn't look that bad. But something for me is just holding it back, and I do believe it is because I had such a horrible time playing this tower. Maybe it's just because this tower wasn't even supposed to happen, but they said, why not add a soul crushing to Forgotten Ridge? So it really just wasn't a good time for me, seeing as I had to do another tower in the area, especially since it was soul crushing. This tower isn't even bad, so although this might be getting a pretty good rating, I just don't like it that much. Tell me this isn't the result of a massive 25 tower orgy that also happened to be incestuous. This could be considered one of the worst towers in the game, and all you had to do was collage a bunch of horrible towers and their worst floors, but no, we just had to make it extra. This is easily the most uncreative tower yet, where it literally just copies the floors from other towers, and not even well. There are multiple flaws with these transitions, like damn. This is one of those clickbaity SS Sniper Wolves "you had one job" videos. It isn't far from the freaking truth. You did have one job, and yet you still managed to mess up the easiest tower creation out there. And how did this get in? You're telling me you couldn't have just put a different classic style Citadel instead of this rush monstrosity? There aren't any redeeming qualities of this Citadel. This never needed to exist, yet it plagues this very script I'm writing, the same script that houses those high-ranking towers. This tower got the most votes out of any tower, getting 12 votes, and being the third most hated tower, with 8 votes for worst and 3 votes for best, being tied. As for me, you bet, your sweet ass, this is going into the bin where it belongs. Testing 1, testing 2. Perfect. Person keeping me here, the guy I was talking to last episode, he's gone to the bathroom, but he doesn't realize while he was sleeping, I made a mixture that when lit with a fire, the toilet will explode, killing him instantly. He likes to smoke a lot, so I'm praying it works out. If it doesn't work, I'll have to remove this segment of the recording to avoid suspicion, or else I'll lose out on another day of rice. Okay, so we've reviewed every tower in Forgotten Ridge. Now it is time for the average score. If you are new to this, I take out the worst and best scores out of this to make it fair. Now with a few simple calculations, the average score is 10.9, which places this area at number 2 for the list. And that's it. I thank you all for watching the 3rd episode of Brutally Honest. I know it has been quite a while since the last episode, but now, here we are. This is Neodymious, taking my anger out on my ops while simultaneously baby raging over 100 by 100 by 1,000 stud vertical structures. Goodbye.